Hey everybody, before we get started, I'd just like to remind you this episode is brought to you by our patrons like FGO Comics, Qua, Drago66, and Nestor Flores. If you like what we do and want to see us do more, consider supporting us on Patreon. You can access episodes early and lots of other goodies, and it would really help us out. Thanks for your support, everybody.
Thank you.
喜べ少年
That's right, everybody. Welcome back to Let's Talk FGO, the show that is definitely the only show called Let's Talk FGO. I am one of your hosts. I am whatever the fuck event it is this week, Omega. And with me, as always, is probably some other event next week, Lucky.
Yep. Everyone, I hope you are enjoying Fate Grand Order, aka I'm gonna need some FGO-themed Christmas carols. And while we here at Studio Omega like to bring you the latest in FGO-related news and memes, we will be talking about current and future events with the JP and EM version of the game. So anyone not wanting spoilers, just go prepare for the beginning of the end.
Yeah, I wanna double affirm the spoilers warning today because there is not only a new story chapter out in JP, which we will be tangentially talking about and thus possibly spoiling elements from, but also we're going to talk about Babylonia today because that's next week, so it's less than a week actually.
Heck.
So yeah, we need to get some stuff out there and talk to you about some things. But if you're one of those people who wants to go in totally blind, well, just pull your earbuds out and let the show run so we get the view numbers. But yeah, don't listen. All right. Well, let's go ahead and check in with everybody's favorite Kohive Mesh with his button.
Senpai, 起きてください.
That's right, everybody. It's time for Wake the Fuck Up Senpai, our regular segment for Protips. So today is a topical pro tip that will not help you if you're listening to the show in 3 months, but it will help you now. Don't necessarily blow all your apples and even your EXPs on Christmas, okay? We have a very packed December. There will be a time crunch involved, and also bond levels will be important. So, use your Christmas tactically, everybody. It's gonna be tight, okay? Alright. We will be getting some more, but still. Let's go ahead and move into Records from the Throne. So hey, if you were on our Discord or following on Twitter, you know some of this already, but let's go ahead and roll down it. So I have obtained Golden Millennium Tree, Covering Fire, 4 Saint Invitations, 4 Reading on the Holy Nights, 2 Moments of Tranquility, an MP3 Beowulf, Angel Song 2, an extra copy of Projection, and Ishtar and I didn't run out of Saint Quartz.
Yeah! How much you got left?
Well, I've done a couple quests, so it's up a few, but it was like 82 when I was able to stop.
Nice.
So I'm gonna have like a good 3-ish rolls or something.
What are you planning on rolling though for then? Now that your blood oath has been complete, the contract has been sealed and affirmed. What's the next goal?
I'm holding out for New Year's, and I'm gonna roll in Musashi because Musashi's next rate up is way too close to a Reshkigal.
That sounds solid.
It's between Summer 2 and a Reshkigal, which is a bad time for me. So I'll take my swings now. Yeah, no, I tweeted about it. I thought about, as a potential intro, trying to get Lucky and me to yell the screaming cowboy scream, but I don't think we can do that, honestly. It's gotta be more. Gotta have it.
I don't know.
No, you're like in choir. You gotta get some in there.
I don't know how to sing. I don't understand why people like hearing me sing. I really don't. Anyway, he's not the only one with some records. It's like I got a few things here. I blew all my quartz, just vicariously tapping away, and I was able to pull Altera out of fucking nowhere.
Spook 'em.
People don't understand. It's it's super hard to get non-SSRs on not on when it's not their banner. I'm all like, are you serious?
I mean, it is. We did the math, Lucky. You're just cursed. You are a statistical outlier.
Yes. Well, it's not just I'm a statistical outlier, I am a consistent statistical outlier. Because I did get Altera, and I also did get Ishtar. I was actually, like, super excited. I mentioned this, like, a little before, but, like, before I actually, like, I think I mentioned this, like, either last week or the week before this, but I hadn't actually seen Ishtar's animations and whatnot before that, so I was just kind of meh about her. I was like, oh yeah, she's cute, she's a Renfei, she's kind of interesting. But then I saw her animations and her giant fucking bow, I'm all like, giant floating weapons are my fucking aesthetic.
She shoots gem lasers and also sometimes Venus.
Yeah. It's like, oh my god, this is so overboard, I love it.
Yeah, she's pretty rad.
She is pretty rad. She's so rad that I've already protected her smile. She is 90 out of 90.
That was pretty fast. I'm working. I'm halfway through my ascensions, but I am heavily limited by the amount of how many EXPs the lotto feels like giving me right now.
You see, I decided to say fuck that, and I just went and grinded the dailies. I have like 122 gold apples. I had like 30 something silver apples, and I had like a few bronze apples lying around. And I just looked at it. I was like, I can do this.
I have 175 gold apples.
Yes.
So when that
But
40 AP, stocking node unlocks, which I think is tonight, I'm gonna be spending some apples because I'm gonna roll. I'm on box. We'll skip ahead to talking about Christmas a little bit, but I'm gonna say I'm on box 3.
Yes.
And I am killing these boxes. By the way, this is not get the Gills plushie and leave. It's no. I need those fucking skill gems and EXPs and that dust and those bones. Give me that shit. I'm gonna turn those logs into QP later. Because guess what? I remembered this on Twitter. I said once on the air. I said that if I got Ishtar and or Areshkigal, I would grail them to 100. So guess what? I'm gonna do that later. It's gonna take a
I believe
load
in
of
him.
EXP.
Yeah, it is.
But I said I'd do it, so I better be honest, because otherwise maybe the next one won't come.
Yep. But I also was able to pull MP4 Nita Chris, and I got all my events EE, so I've walked away from this pretty happy. Let's see here. And I think that's it for the Thrones. We have no All the World's Evil this week. As I said, we've had pretty good weeks, both of us, I think. So
yeah, I mean, I think the only thing that it would count as All the World's Evil, which it doesn't, is just because of the time crunch. I don't think I've done a lot of other stuff on the channel. Like, I only just got to writing the notes for today's show today, obviously, but FGO has been so busy that I haven't been able to like focus on other stuff. I have been like minimally playing the AL event. I've been doing my daily 5 or 6 Sethers for Girls Frontline.
Oh shit, I still
that I can do, so I'm fine on that, but mostly I've just been playing FGO as much as my phone will allow me.
I'm playing FGO right now. But let's move over into Skelograms. I'll take it over for a while because Omega's going to be talking a lot.
Yeah, and I have
later.
to talk about one of these because I was the only one who was there.
Yeah. So, first off, we're going to start off with some news in Japan. Lostbelt 3 Sin release campaign. November 27th to December 11th. They showed a new trailer. The new TVCM looked amazing. We got some new updates here. One being the bond level expansion. Use the item Flame of Chaldea to add 5 more bond levels, and you'll get 30 Saint Quartz for levels 11 through 15.
I should say I have heard for some it's just 1 flame per new bond level. I'm not sure. We're not sure how those are being distributed yet. But there's a new mechanic to go up to bond 15, basically.
So, is it like you get just 30 quartz per bond level, or like...
No, it's 30 quartz per bond level.
Oh, wow.
But from what I understand, getting from like level 10 to 11 is like getting to level 10 in the first place or something. It's like crazy hard, but it gives you something to do with your bond 10 servants.
Yeah. As I said, I think they just came out with another bond up CE, didn't they?
Mm-hmm. Chaldea tea time.
Yeah, no, so if you have Chaldea lunchtime, Chaldea tea time, and if I remember correctly, they made that special CE where if you put it on support and someone uses it, it increases bond. I can't remember.
Well, yeah, that's tea time. If somebody uses your tea time on support, they get way more than if they used their own tea time, basically.
Yeah. So, like, they've definitely been putting more effort into increasing them bond levels, and I'm assuming that these latest levels in the Lostbelt are giving redonk amounts of bond level to begin with.
Probably. We're already, like, I'll mention it later, but Babylonia is already crazy amounts of bond points. Though I try to remember, the Epics of Remnants all had a fun thing when you got, like, bonus bond for certain servants. I think you get bonus bond points if you use MASH in the Lostbelts? I'm not sure.
Nah, I don't know.
Whatever.
As I said, Lucky doesn't know anything beyond what's happening right now.
Yeah.
But continuing on with this information, Jinke and Spartacus got animation updates, so they move a heck of a lot sweeter. There are new Ascension mats. Actually didn't get the names of them. What were they? Do you know?
I can double check. I didn't get the names at the time either. They're like, so one of them is called Old Fashioned Bell. It looks like balls. Let's not kid ourselves. And the other one's something cores. You get them for beating up Chinese magic tanks.
The S.I.N release campaign had the raid up on 3 new servants. The 5-star berserker Zhang Yu. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing it.
You're not. Dallas tried to teach us how to pronounce these last night. I can't do it for some of these, so don't bother.
Yeah. So, like, as I said, like, Voice, if you're listening, shut up.
Does Voice even pronounce Chinese? I mean, he might.
He might. Like, I want to put it past him. He seems pretty on point with this shit. But, so if I butcher any of these names, please forgive me. So, 5-star berserker Zhang Yu, 4-star saber Prince Lan Lin, and 4-star lancer Quinn Liang Yu. Also new CEs. General story excitement. I'm pretty sure it's already the story's already out. People have like blown through it already.
Our good buddy in the Discord chat, one of our fans, Zero Ranma, always beats every new story like first day in Japan. So he already crushed it.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure like the spoiler chat was overflowing.
Yeah.
I said there's a reason I stay out of there, but there's lots of new characters appearing in the Lostbelt, like Old Man Li Xuan, Ruler King Shi Huang appears as the Lostbelt King. Appears watch out for that banner. 3-star red hair, and Consort Yu, who is a body double for the enemy master in this Lostbelt. So if you like her, and let's see here. Yeah. And SSR assassin Old Man Li Xuan. Double watch out on that banner because it sounds like Ruler is played by Fukuyama Jun.
Yeah, so you can get all your Lelouch memes out. He is just about as fabulous as Lelouch is in his Emperor costume. Also, by the way, actually pronouncing his name properly in Chinese, the Ruler, is crazy, so I've just been calling him Emperor Peacock because trying to remember how to say it's like Qinshi Huang. Hua. There's a hua in there. It's hard, let alone spelling it.
Like, I'm having trouble getting like Japanese syllables to roll off my fucking tongue. Like, don't even get me started with the Chinese.
I mean, I learned from Dallas that the Q in is actually pronounced chin for some unearthly reason.
Really?
Yes. Mostly I've put this on the people who transliterate this into Latin letters, but why the fuck is it a Q?
That's a good point.
Why do you write it as a Q? Write it as a CH. I don't know. Hopefully somebody will post their summoning and my room lines for some of these characters so I can hear how they pronounce it in the Japanese script. This is exactly like Sanzo, who has an X and a G in her name in Chinese, but it's pronounced just Sanzo in Japanese, which makes it way fucking easier. Yeah, it's something like that. X. Anyway, yeah, I gotta do this later because I gotta describe these new servants.
Yeah, rip him.
Yeah, so, that's Lostbelt 3. It's super cool. It's really fucking metal. I love the story that as far as it's been described.
Like I saw like a clip notes on like the because the Grand Order bot that retweets stuff from Twitter posted something about that. I was all like, oh man, this shit sounds real serious.
Yeah. All right, so let's move into North America because hey, if you didn't jump into our Discord last night, I guess you snooze, you lose.
That's me.
Chaldea Broadcasting System, you were literally snoozing. Chaldea Broadcasting System came out November 29th. It was the Babylonia stream. So this was actually really interesting. I'll describe this for you, Lucky. It was just the couch in the Aniplex office with their posters and their mass shield, and it was just Albert on the couch. There were obviously people behind the camera, because he talks to them, but it was just Albert and his PowerPoint slide on the couch. And he called it Chaldea Chill Time with Albert. Or, Chaldea Chill with Albert time. And it really worked. Like, as much as we've said before that like, Albert is just a dude, he actually really made this work just solo addressing the camera and even looking at chat sometimes. He recapped some Christmas stuff really quick, mentioning Ishtar and the Christmas event and stuff like that. Just light start off. Then we entered Albert's Wailing Corner, which was amazing. I'm going to have to make sure that Editor Lucky can have some assets that some people posted because they made some fun edits of some screen caps from the stream of Albert's Ascension levels. Because they faded the camera out to a slide with a graphic, and then when they faded back in, Albert's wearing a fucking yellow poncho, like a pea coat, and a yellow hat. And there are people with cardboard whale cutouts hiding behind the couch, holding them up, and they just threw plush whales at him over the course of the night. It's amazing. It's great. You want to talk about production value? It's phenomenal. And he live on camera rolled for Ishtar. And he said that he was obviously it was not a test server because he got, like he said, he got kicked out for the time rollover because the server reset it for the night. So we got his login rewards. So that was like, no, it was live, and he was saying that he was spending if he was going to spend money on it, he was going to spend his real money out of his paycheck. I don't think he actually got to spending money on it, but he made several rolls over the course of the night, most of which sucked. He did not get an Ishtar before the night is over. He got some event CEs, but yeah, no. And honestly, he got a couple of Mapo Tofus in there. Honestly, this was just very humanizing because it's like Albert suffering as we suffer, just rolling. Some of them, bare minimum rolls, just 1 4-star CE and nothing else. And just kind of like, oh, wow, that makes me sad, but also I understand this pain.
You are now relatable. And
I told, not that he could have heard me, but I was telling the group, oh, Albert, you need to roll just one more time. Because that's what I did. You're in the exact point when I rolled for Ishtar, because Ishtar was on my last roll, obviously, but it was like, was it 3? I think it was my 4th roll, or was it my 5th roll? It was probably 4th. So the first 3, like, I got them through most of the C's, and I'm like, okay, I'm starting to feel a little down. Well, you get to that accepting death moment, basically, where you're like, well, at least I can complete my CE collection, if you don't mind. And then it was like, immediately, first card, Gold Archer. No sparks or anything, Gold Archer, just Ishtar. Hi, what's up? And I'm like, okay, I'm good. Days since Screaming Cowboy, 0.
I really should. I think I honestly am. Like, when I get my paycheck, I'm just going to buy a timer, and I'm just going to put a piece of paper on it that says, Days Without Screaming Cowboy meme. And I'm just going to slap it and just let it go.
And you're going to physically check how long between memes?
Yeah.
Nice.
Like, okay, so this is a bit of a segue off of, this, but for some odd reason, I refuse to let the Screaming Cowboy meme go. I don't know why. I just fucking love it, and I think it's a great thing to react to. And so, like, maybe, like, every couple weeks, I'll, like, just set up the conversation where I, like, my response is to scream, and I'll play the Screaming Cowboy meme, and it's gotten to the point that people have just started saying Days Without Screaming Cowboys is now 0.
Mm-hmm.
And I just love it so fucking much. I actually want to get a physical timer for this.
And,
so I can actually
in case you were curious, that is the scream I used at the start of Wanted Ishtar. I clipped that out from the actual song. The song is pretty memey on its own, but also there's a giant old man's cowboy screaming in the sky through the middle of it. It's great. It's big enough,
Mhm.
and you'll find it. You should watch the video sometime if you haven't.
It's good.
All right, so then he got into new news, which was basically most of the rest of the time. Which was he showed the Babylonia CM, the preview. I'm pretty sure we will not be showing NP clips or TVCMs unless Editor Lucky just subtly slides them in under us talking.
Yeah,
because we're trying to avoid.
I'm pretty sure we can't do that.
Yeah.
Do that without unless we're talking over it, and even then, I'm not quite sure.
Yes, we would love to insert more video clips, and we're pretty sure we can because Voice puts NP videos in a lot of his videos, but that's usually him talking over them for an extended period, and also possibly with other graphics. But we can't do like we used to do, which is just the audio and video for us cuts out. You watch the PV with us, and then we come back. We're pretty sure we can't do that anymore. YouTube doesn't like it, and that's fair because that's just us stealing somebody else's YouTube video.
We're trying again to get the monetization up, and if we do get it back up, I will probably feel a lot more secure about throwing those things back in.
Because in that case, if it's not an all the time problem, we can work around certain videos being demonetized. But if YouTube thinks, in general, our content isn't original enough, which was kind of our problem in the first place, it's like, yeah, okay, we have to hold back and make sure we're producing original content.
Yeah.
And if it gets to be a problem, I'm going to open up MS Paint, I'm going to open a black screen, I'm going to write in white text, original content, I made this. And that's just going to be our placeholder graphic for literally everything. But hopefully it doesn't come to that. We'll see. I think we've been pretty good about making sure our content was fairly original in terms of audio and a lot of our videos edited together and stuff. Yeah. So they showed that. Hey, remember how campaigns used to give us 3 Saint Quartz for milestones and stuff?
Mm-hmm.
How about 10 Saint Quartz? So starts at 3 and goes up until it equals 10 for on milestones for Facebook and Twitter, which, by the way, if I'm doing my math right, we have already hit. We needed to get 40k total. I think we did. So yeah, no, people will actually push a little bit harder if the rewards are better, which is good. Hopefully things don't get too much more complex behind this number. That said, I think that right now we are at a comfortable number for likes and retweets and shares and reactions and stuff, because we've hit both the goals for Thanksgiving and for Babylonia pretty quick in a good way.
I actually wonder if the major campaigning push they did with advertising for Thanksgiving was what helped actually make this a success.
Maybe. Also, I think it's basically Albert flipped it. He gave us 3 Saint Quartz for the stream, but then was like, and then do the Facebook Twitter campaign for 10. As opposed to usually, which was, do the Facebook Twitter campaign for 3, but also I'm gonna give you 10 for free because of the stream. So I think flipping it also helped to just change the dynamic. Hey, here's a little thing because you tuned into the stream, because the only people tuning into the stream are quote unquote hardcores. People who are actively interested and know to follow the Twitter and everything. And then hopefully the social media campaigns are bigger. Also, he announced we will be getting a campaign running during Babylonia where we will get 2 gold apples per day for 7 days if you log in. It's for a total of 14. Hold on, I gotta check the Babylonia release campaign, because... Okay. So, in Japan, this ran an extra week for 14 days total. We'll see if they extend it for us. They might not need to, depending on where our distributions are, but they might. I don't think that was default, though. But so, for now, we're just 1 week. It might go to 2 weeks. We'll see. Also, I wrote this in this note because this was a joke that came in our Discord. Instead of Babylonia, it's Abylonia, because abs. So many abs. He then, after wrapping up all that announcements, he was like, oh, and Caskill is coming, and Enkidu and all that. Which means I think I gotta do a fucking... Enkidu Wanted over the weekend. Again. Thanks, guys.
Busy.
It's gonna be a busy fucking month for Wanted, because I definitely have to do Merlin, because I like views. Ket's a story locked, so we should do her anyway. Then there's gotta be a Musashi for New Year's. I might as well just throw Enkidu on the pile, too. So watch out for Wanteds if you like that content. And also he said final battle is coming after Babylonia. It's going to be in 2018. Bond level will be important. No further details in the stream. Anyway.
Yeah, I've heard that like the bond levels are important for like the final battles. I just don't know why.
For every bond level you have at 5+, you get a damage buff, I think. You get some kind of buff, basically.
Oh.
So, 10 is the best, but it's not necessarily critical. If you just, servants you use a lot are high bond levels, they will be more effective.
Okay.
Which is very helpful because there's a lot of stuff going on in the final battle. Also, he announced that they want to do more live events, and I think they mentioned this before, but this is like, they have an official graphic, FGO 2019 USA Tour. It's just in the USA. He said that their kickoff will be in LA in February of next year.
Mm-hmm.
No ideas yet on other locations, but he said they will be doing other locations that year.
Are they like going to like cons specifically, or is it just they're gonna go drive around in a bus?
He was not clear on what exactly the event is. It would be at like a convention hall or something, like, but like the size of the venue and would it be with stuff is not specific. So I don't know. Heck, it's a couple months out, so it's obviously very much like still in pre. Like they talked about how we will have exclusive art assets, and they showed an art piece, a bit like the Rio piece that was specially drawn for our first anniversary. But it was like artwork, not final. Some people asked, is this going to be a CE? And he was like, we can't talk about that. So that to me says that maybe it'll be a CE, but they're not finished with, the art's obviously not finished. They're not finished with whatever negotiations or mechanics into it, so they don't want to say anything yet.
Yeah.
So we're not polished and finished off yet. This is just, they want to let you know a few months beforehand, hey, we're doing a tour next year, so look out for us coming to cities near you.
They better come to Seattle, at least. I don't see why they wouldn't.
I don't see why they wouldn't. That's what I said. Because Albert was like, we're coming to a city near you, and I'm like, I bet you're not. I bet you're not, Albert. That's not your fault, but I bet you're not. Don't lie to me. I think Orlando is still is it an hour or 2 hours from here? It's not a walk in the park. And also, I don't drive. But anyway, so yeah, that was the whole stream. And honestly, like I said, it was good.
Simple.
It was informative. It was to the point. There was no, like he even said immediately when it started, don't worry, there's no tutorial this time, and so, like I said, I think it was just very good to just get this very personal moment with Albert and some gags and some props and stuff, and they clearly put production effort into some of it, even if they're still in that one conference room with the couch in Aniplex US headquarters or whatever.
I should call them again. Not now.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if they're not busy, it would be cool to maybe see some of the localization team, but just because the localization team is amazing, we'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, no, it's great. It was a great stream. Hopefully they do more. The other thing I said I wanted to see is maybe if they could get more English voice actors back, because the very first stream they did where they had Mash's VA there was good. For when they released the OVA and stuff. And she was also Jack in Apocrypha's dub. So yeah, that could be cool to get people who play the game obviously and are invested in this franchise on as well.
Mm-hmm.
Which was I think was kind of the problem. Some of the networking and social media staff they played the game, but at the same time they didn't feel as involved as Albert does when he talks about it, because Albert's literally on the game staff. And they're just, social media interaction people at Aniplex.
If you want to just feel the love for something, you have to love something,
Yeah. So, yeah, just getting people who are invested and also are able to talk with a certain amount of actual involvement is good, right?
Mm-hmm.
If nothing else, I think that while voice actors and actresses in Japan, I think, are a larger deal than they are in the US. It's still fundamentally something that like drives a lot of the community there because they actually get the actors who care about this stuff involved, and it's hilarious. But alright, that's it for news. Let's transition to free talk.
Da-da-da. We're gonna start off with what I'm kind of jonesing to talk about is Little Santa Altar first impressions. What are we on, like day 4-ish?
Something like that.
Yeah, something like that. So we've had several story moments, and they are fucking golden. Wait, they are fucking golden. We haven't seen Kentucky, but you know what? He's always there.
That's just how you have to say golden.
It is.
Yeah, so this was another time lock, so we've been able to go through it at a pretty normal pace.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing that immediately jumped out to me was when Santa Lily becomes Santa, gets into a discussion with fucking Santa Altar. One that stuck out to me is when she's like, as she's like, her sprite is quivering, Santa shouldn't threaten people, and I was like, yes, Tiny Jalter, Santa, she should not. Santa Altar is a bad Santa.
I'm more hilarious when she tried to go discuss this in the middle of the night with Santa Altar, and she fucking Excalibured her using a really crazy name. I wonder if I can. Oh god, I think it might take me too long to actually find it. But let me see here.
Well, yeah, go into your
materials.
Yeah, materials, and look for the first night of the event.
Whatever happened to John? All right, so let's do some skipping here. No, that's not skip. I mean, fast forward.
Yeah. Also, turn on the autoplay, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, no. Santa Altar has a lot of calibers in the first chunk of the event.
Mm-hmm. What I do want to appreciate about this event is that this time everyone knows you're going in to go be the reindeer. So people give you stuff like Emiya gives you a lunch. Medea gives you a fucking heater.
Yes,
super fucking useful.
And you get some good luck charms and stuff.
Mash gives you, and this, you know, what this made me immediately think of. Why don't we have a reindeer mystic code?
Honestly, I don't know. It's maybe just because they didn't want to. They didn't want to do the design.
I want you all, like, honestly, all of you out there, tell me that you did not think that actually having a reindeer costume for your master would not be fucking amazing.
It should be good. Like, to just get a Christmas themed thing going, you could do that.
Yeah, because like they have like, I know they didn't do one for Halloween, but Halloween doesn't really have you have you in a costume. They literally throw you into fucking wherever Castle Jet is.
Honestly, your mystic codes in general work for Halloween, except maybe the summer ones, right? Like, you're already in a cool outfit most of the time.
Yeah, and like you do get a summer outfit, man. You get your swim trunks. So it's like, where's my cold weather? My cold weather, not the fucking Antarctic survival one. That doesn't count. We also don't have that. So I was like, I really want a reindeer mystic code. Yeah, and I like how they started. Like they kind of started in media res, where like you're about to leave, and they go like, "How did we get here?" And it's John Altar being a fucking edgelord and trying to one up Saber Altar, or Santa Altar in this case. Have I told you how much I love their fucking dynamic? They're great. Seriously like they are the best frenemies. They're constantly trying to one up and show up on each other, and because of that, they spend a lot of time with each other. Like, shoot, what's the name of the store, CE? Holy Night Invitation? Something like that?
Holy Night Supper.
Holy Night Supper. Like, John literally has that dress because she got dragged around shopping with Saber Altar, and it's just like, that's kind of amazing, actually. It's like, I've been like on board with these two ever since I did Saber Altar's interlude, at which at the end she summons Jean Altar, and they have a discussion about like how they're alike, but they're not. It's like, it's really good, and apparently, like, I can't remember. I think it's in Shinjuku. Apparently, like, they're two like of the like big characters in it.
Yeah, that's where they both get their casual outfits, which Saber Altar still doesn't have as a costume yet. But yeah, that's a big. The altars show up a lot in Shinjuku. It's kind of like one of the sub themes, I think.
Oh, also another side thing about the pre-link. Caster Gill's getting so excited about Small Jean that he sent it up.
Mm.
He's like, sir, you need to calm down.
Yeah, and real John shows up, full-blown Big Sister mode. She's like, all right, Mr. Gills, you better tell me what the fuck's going on or I'm going to poke your eyes back in. And he's like, oh, no, Jean. Very confused, though. It's all Kid Gill's fault, and he feels no regret at all.
Oh, I found it. Apparently, Santa Ultra slips into some slang, because it's, what do I mean you want to be Santa? Christmas Sword of Promise Caliber! And then just, John Alter Santa Lily. Yeah!
Yeah. She gets blasted.
Gets blasted.
I think there's
And
also...
then she limps back onto the screen. I love how they're doing the animations now. They're just using the sprites to move around and do things.
Uh-huh. I think later in this story, Santa Alter threatens to naughty little girl caliber her. Or something like that. Yeah. By the way, looking at it, most Mystic Codes are basically school uniforms. Because, like, there's 2 for, like, extra. There's 1 for, like, the actual Fuyuki City uniform. It's not a school uniform, but Anniversary Blonde is very much kind of like a uniform style dress.
Yeah, actually, now that I think about it, like, isn't that even let's see, Chaldea combat uniform? That's the plug suit. Then you
you just got the regular Chaldea Mystic Code uniform. Your default is very school uniform-esque.
No, they're all very school, because, the Mage Association's uniform, it looks like you're fucking Harry Potter.
Arguably so does Atlas Institute. The plug suit is not. Royal Brand is not, but that's also just a suit. And obviously your 2 summers.
But still, I wanted a reindeer, because I think it'd be hilarious. Let's see here. What else?
Well, yeah, we're just on the first night.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of more stuff from the first night.
I mean, no nights at all, but just, there's something deeply heartwarming about opening up the store and being greeted by Tonakai-san, Tonakai-san.
Oh my god, it's amazing. I like how, she's definitely, more pure and innocent, but she still kind of has that... What's the word I want to use? Directness?
She's edgy, but in, a little kid way.
Yeah. She's like, pay attention to me.
She is acting more mature than her age and more direct, and because that's what you do when you're an edgy kid, right? You're like...
Yeah, you try to act more mature. It's like, I can't remember what it is, but it's all like, would you like some candy? She's like, no, I don't want any candy from strangers. And then you're like, and then I'm like, do you want some candy? And she's like, yeah, no. I'm like,
she immediately blushes and is like, well, yeah, wait, no. There are a couple of interactions like that where other people get on her and she's like, no. And then you jump in and are like, but do you really want some candy though? And she's like,
oh my God.
On the second night, the all girls drinking club returns. Who
Plus
did we
Matahari.
add? There was a 4th person there who wasn't there before. Oh, Matahari, that's right.
Yeah, I just said that.
I did not understand you there.
Sorry.
So Matahari, yes.
Again, Masha, I guess cock blocks is the word I'd say.
I mean, kind of, because you
it's not like a direct cock block, but
because Santa Lily sobers them up, using some stuff that Mr. Paracelsus has made.
And then Matahari's all like, oh, I guess I can't use this excuse to touch master or something.
You can't use drinking as an excuse involving, and then she gives you significant glances.
And then Mash is like, why is Matahari giving you significant glances? I'm like, wow, Mash, way to pop in.
What's going on? Because this time Mash is deliberately acting as mission control too. That's another thing that's different this year. She's like, this time I will actually be in contact with you. You will not be kidnapped, and we can talk. and we can talk about Christmas stuff, even though it's early. That's another great point.
Yeah, they actually did mention that this time that they are doing Christmas
I would love if somebody with JP would check the JP script to see if, because it was also a little early before Christmas in JP too, but I'm wondering how much of that has been localized, because the original Christmas event for us was totally like, it's the last day of the almost weekly Santa altar, it is now Christmas Eve, and it was like, the 15th or
Don't lie to
16th,
me.
and we're like, no, you're lying to me, FGO. In this one, it's like, well, it's not
I think they
quite
actually
Christmas, but it's close enough.
Mm-hmm.
It's close enough to bring gifts.
Something else that I do enjoy about this is that they are kind of like deliberately but subtly letting you know that like something is going on in the back line.
Right.
Like there are communications.
Well, yeah. I mean,
being
I
had.
will say this, that I said this as this is kind of my one criticism, is that the story deliberately hides stuff from you, the player, which in some places is annoying because it feels like servants are talking to you, but then the camera just cuts away from them and they're like, and you'll find out later. That said, at this point, like, there's a very explicit later bit where, Little Jean has a deep internal monologue and exploring the conflict of her character, like, openly, which is great.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all just dramatic
but
timing
yeah,
and
like,
stuff.
Yeah, like the first night it's Martha, because like last year she's the only one who does not get drunk off her ass and tries to maintain some semblance of
Decorum.
Decorum, thank you. I was thinking decency for some reason.
Decency also works, but I think decorum is because she's trying to keep things at the socially acceptable level, because she's like, hey, BT dubs, this is about the Big J. She's just quietly standing in the corner reminding you Jesus exists.
Oh yes, we also have the return of Ushi Wakamaru's most lewd face.
Yes, the ultra drunk Jinkei and Ushi sprites return.
Mm-hmm.
And their drunken ramblings return also. But yeah, so Santa Lily's problem is she gives everybody ultra practical gifts.
Mm-hmm. Like the sobering potions, the girls aren't happy with that. I'm pretty sure they're gonna go kill Paracelsus now.
Hi.
Like, not actual joking.
No. But yeah, and that's like, because Santa Altar's gifts were they were somehow appreciated, but also really dumb and bad. Like that's what Santa Lily's doing to like one up her, is like, I will be a better Santa because that woman is an awful Santa, which is true. By giving gifts that people can actually appreciate.
Yeah, well, I was thinking about that. Like last year, let's see, they got they actually mentioned this in the event. Last year, Santa Altar gave Jinkei be elegant, and Jinkei was like, "This is awesome. Let's go murder this guy." And we're all like, "He's already been murdered." And they even mentioned it this time. It was like, "This guy's been super murderfied." They actually say murderfied. I was like,
yes.
"Oh my god." Like, again, do we give enough props to the localization team? I do not think so.
They're great. Oh my god, there's a joke in like night 3 or whatever, or 4, that we'll talk about in a second. But yeah, the drinking club is still great. And Martha is like a little bit chiding, because she's like, well, the celebration was originally about the Savior is kind of like a time to exchange gifts and stuff. It's not necessarily meant to be practical. It's about community, but Santa Lily's not having any of it. She's just like, yeah, but you need gifts that are useful, right? Otherwise, I'm just being... She phrases it kind of just, otherwise, I'm just being an asshole as Santa, right? I should give you something that you can use.
And at this, like, and this first night lets you, like, kind of understand, like, where the direction is going for this event.
And this, I think, is the first time where it's explicitly, like, where Martha's like, hey, Master, can I talk to you for a second? And then it cuts away.
Mm-hmm.
But you get the impression that she's talking about the problem, right?
Yep.
And then second night, you run into some Japanese servants. I learned that Kotaro is apparently 15 as a servant. Didn't know that. Would never have guessed.
I'm sorry, Japanese anime characters, I can't tell their fucking age.
No. I mean, I guess he's skinny enough you can count his ribs. Is that supposed to be him being young? I thought he was just
many
weirdly
ribs. God, every time I see that art, that's always what I see.
Little weird. Luckily, he gets big shoulders in some of his later ascensions.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he's like super excited because he's heard about this Santa thing and he wants to try it. And also Amakusa's there just lingering.
Who else was there?
Tawara Tota.
Oh, Tota.
Yeah. And so you have to fight Afuma because he's a bit upset because he gets a Japanese to English dictionary because John Alter's like, hey, there's some grammatical errors in your Noble Phantasm, which by the way is super fucking ironic because Le Grandement du Haine is not proper French. It's not gendered correctly. I think is the problem, or maybe the verbs aren't right. The verb tenses.
I don't know.
It's wrong though. Is the thing, and everybody says it's wrong and has been saying it's wrong for years. So there's irony there. That's a double-layered joke. But then after she gives him the dictionary, and he's like, "Well, I must accept this as a gift because I am polite." He's like, but I can't change my Noble Phantasm name because I am actually descended from foreigners, so this is the only way to preserve their culture.
And Santa John's like, shock.
And she's like, wait, shit, then I gave you a useless gift. Fuck.
No!
I'm dying. I gotta run away. Reindeer, let's go.
And then
they're like,
we
and
have
then where did
the
Amakusa go? and you're like, where did Amakusa go? And then Santa Island Mask. He is from Santa Island. He is here to help all Santas and also little girls. He throws his rose black keys. And yes, he is this much of a Sailor Moon reference in Japan. Santa Island Mask has been a thing for a while.
I know, but I didn't know about it because I've the only thing I've ever seen of it, I think, was Amakusa with the Mozart mask just holding Santa John. I didn't understand. I just thought it was funny because it's the Mozart mask. Putting it on any other servant just makes it automatically funny.
It's true, but also no, he is deliberately a tuxedo mask reference with his rose black keys, and he's here to be Santa Lily's mentor. And be like, I shall teach you how to be a good Santa.
And this is why we have Santa John calling him Master. Or Teacher.
Yeah. And then the next night is the Tea Party trio is formed. Emiya and Asterios are in the labyrinth preparing a Christmas dinner for Rhyme and Jack, who are super excited to see Santa again.
This was super heartwarming. It made me super happy.
Yeah, no. Well, yeah, it has some ups and downs though, because there's a middle bit that's super sad because after first you have a fight with them, and then they're like sad. Oh, we lost to Santa, we won't get our gifts, and obviously Santa Lily doesn't know that that's the thing you did last year. So Amakusa has to fly in with his rose black key and be like, just pretend to be dead, fall over. She's like, oh, right. Gasp, damage over time has defeated me. Blarg, you win. But then she gives them their gifts, and it's Hermitage, and she's like, it's a quiet place you can study in silence. And then she flees. Crying. I'm not crying. She's like, I'm not crying, you're crying.
I want to give out a shout out to Asterios, who's like, I have a wish, but don't worry about it. He just wants these times to never end. I'm like, oh my god, Asterios, you're such a good fluffy boy!
And
oh my god,
Santa Lily is just like, well, good, because I can't do that.
He's like, it's fine.
It's fine.
I'm like, oh my god, Asterios, you're such a good boy.
That's when Santa Lily gives her big monologue where she's concerned because she is an alternate version of a fake servant who doesn't exist kind of thing. So like, she's having like a super existential crisis because if she can't be Santa, she is literally nothing and will disappear in a puff of logic or something. And then apparently Santa Island Mask has been talking to Jack and Rhyme, or he talked to Emiya at least.
And apparently Chaldea has Emiya's private contact information.
Yeah, that's funny.
Also,
Emiya calls out Amakusa when he ends on like a sinister note. He's like, that was kind of sinister what you said. And Amakusa's just like, oh, I just have to end on a bad guy type note. And I'm like, yes, that's you. You're a good guy, but you're sinister as fuck.
That's actually Amakusa and Apocrypha. Like, honestly.
Yeah, you're trying to do good, but boy howdy, are you shifty.
Like, honestly, this event is, like, super selling me on Amakusa. Like, next time he's on Raid Up or something, I am totally rolling.
Hopefully they do bring him back for New Year's, because I don't think they're gonna have time to bring him back before. Which, I totally
But, like,
understand because
hearing-
holy shit.
Like, but this made me wonder, like I don't know if this is like just for events, but apparently, the servants, like, if they're not hanging out in Chaldea, can just go fuck off somewhere, like wherever, because they're taking place, like, the tea
Yeah,
party's
they
taking place
can
in.
go places. I mean, you do a ray shift, but yeah.
Yeah,
They can
because-
just fuck around in time and space, I guess.
I'm actually gonna say it's probably any place that there's a singularity, because Chaldea has like a connection to it, the
Yeah.
coordinates to it. But still, I guess that's what they do. It's like, yeah, I don't want to chill in this fucking like Arctic like station. I'm gonna go to Okeanos or something. I'm gonna go chill in because I'm pretty sure that's where Asterios is right now. He's probably like in Okeanos in his labyrinth.
And, but yeah, so basically, after talking to Emiya and Santa Island Mask, Rhyme and Jack approach Santa and they give her back the gift, they, like, return it. Hey, we don't actually need this, so, you can have it back. And then, instead, you can do us a solid and take us to the sea. And at first, Lily's like, hard lock, like, is that a thing? But Santa Island Mask appears in a flash of rose black keys, and it's like, yes, these children are incredibly rude and fickle, and they will give back any gift you give them. You have to take them to the ocean because they've returned your gift, and you're like, okay. Yeah, the word
then,
returnaholics comes up.
And Santa John totally forgot you were there,
Yes.
so she tries to deny it. See, that's something I think is important sometimes, is sometimes you don't need to be a part of every conversation. Sometimes servants just need to interact with servants. Because that's something that I think, like, a lot of, like, writing sometimes messes up, is they try to involve the main character in everything.
Right.
And
And like for some stuff that makes sense because I mean you're the player character, you're the one who does stuff and acts in this universe, so it's kind of hard if you don't show up in some capacity, right? Like you have to be there for some servants to make sense for being there, to like a lot of the time for like Mash to have come out with you, that means you have to like take her on a ray shift job, etc.
Ooh, excuse me.
But yeah, just making sure to be able to like kind of butt out and let the servants talk is also really good. What's the time on this? Holy shit. We're at almost an hour of the show.
Oh god. We're not even like, oh my god.
Yeah, no. But and we gotta do all of this too. But I mean, we talked through most of the story, so it's mostly fine. We can talk about our Christmas successes. I think I said earlier I was on box 3. That's where I'm at. I have all the
Yeah, I am
all
on
the
box
store
3 too.
CEs.
I'm farming box 3. I have cleared out the cheesecake. Like, I'm done with cheesecake. There's literally nothing in the shop that I can get for cheesecake except just I'm gonna upgrade it to fucking
Yeah, higher level stuff. Do I have anything I can get? I mean, I still have some scatterings of stuff. Mostly I'm working on mana prisms just because I like to get that number up. I got all the store CEs. I bought a few of the mats because next Ascension Ishtar is going to eat, like, a bunch of scarabs and stuff.
Oh, that reminds me. I actually had to take a pause with my sending of Ishtar because I literally ran out of archer pieces and monuments.
Well, luckily,
Like
they're in the store.
Yeah. Believe it or not, that is the only reason why I have not cleared out the shop CEs, is because I do not have the 150 fruitcakes, because those went into buying archer monuments. But I'm not too worried about that because I was able to get my CE drop. I think I got it yesterday.
Yeah, I have not gotten a drop yet. We'll see. Oh, and yeah, One Fat Panda brought up a good point. We should mention that they joke about Santa Lily's name with Rhyme and Jack.
Oh god, spam!
And they're just like, that's crazy. And then they bring up, when they reintroduce her later, they're like, yeah, this is John Santa Alter, or John Santa spam, Alter spam Lily spam. They do a Monty Python riff, which I'm like, that was not in the original Japanese. There's no way. So that is a localized joke. There was some other pun with her name, I'm sure, that was there that didn't make any fucking sense in English, and they did something really good. They're great.
Do we give enough props to our localization team? No, we do not. Everyone go tell great fucking job on Reddit. You know they read it.
They do a good job. Yeah, but otherwise the event's going okay. I feel, like I said, once I get the final stocking farming zone, I'll be pretty solid. I don't really need anything else out of the shop, because there's no EXPs in the shop. Funny.
Yeah, that was really surprising.
Yeah, I'm shocked. I was like, oh, I can't just buy EXPs. I have to roll in the stockings. So I will continue to smash the shit out of that because that has stuff I want. EXPs, skill gems of all kinds for, I think everybody, every class. There's like 1, 2, 3 of every color in there, which is great because people need some skills.
Oh my god, I need some skills.
Also, there's a shitload of QP in every box. That's great.
Yeah!
So much QP, and also friend points I don't need.
I should really spend some of my free points, just because.
Alright, so that about wraps up our initial thoughts on Christmas. We'll have some final thoughts next week, with also some Babylonia thoughts.
We're gonna have double thoughts next week.
We're gonna have a lot of thoughts. Thoughts and thoughts and thoughts and thoughts. And also, maybe there'll be another banner for the new Lostbelt out. Or maybe they'll announce the new Christmas. I don't fucking know.
Oh my god.
December's rough. December's a
stops.
crazy month.
It is.
It was this time for us, too, because we had, like, London banners and the Christmas event and all that, like, right after another. Mm-hmm. Good shows, though. Alright. Hey, know how we got new servants in Japan? Let's talk about new servant deets. So, Shang-Yu is the SSR Berserker, who is permanent. Quick arts, buster. Fairly high stats for an AoE. He beats Raikou in base HP and attack, for instance. But he's under big names like Kentoki and Ku-Alter in strength. His hit counts are baller. 6 hit, quick card. I think 4 hits on his arts. They're really high, guys. They're really great. The deck limitations mean his NP gain is slow, but his star gen can be pretty good. The problem is that Berserkers have shit star weight, remember. Skill number 1 is Foresight, which gives him 1 turn of evade and 1 turn of 50% crit up. Skill number 2, Tactical Framework, gives him 30% quick and buster up for 3 turns and 1 turn 50% crit up. I suspect there's a theme here. And then his last skill, Martial Arts of the Hegemon, gives him stars per turn for 3 turns, up to 10 stars. And Pierce Invul for 3 turns, which can be neat. His AoE Quick NP gives him a slight NP damage buff with Overcharge, and otherwise just does damage. And then he's got a passive, I think it's translated as Evil Enhancement, or something like that. It's not Madness Enhancement, but he's enhanced. Gives him a slight buster buff and a crit buff. Analysis... Shang-Yu's in a kind of an awkward spot. He doesn't hit as hard as Raikou does when her Mystery Killer is up. And unfortunately, the fact that he has a lower hit count and no NP gain buff on his NP means that he cannot have the crazy potential that Zerxalot does. For comparison, Berserker Lancelot has a huge 1-turn NP gain buff on his 3rd skill and has 10 hits on his NP as opposed to Shang-Yu's just 5. You give Lancelot, like, double Scotty and, like, a K-Scope, he can NP 3 turns in a row. Like, his refund is crazy. Shang-Yu will not do that. Also, unlike 4-star quick AoEs like Angry Cat and Lancelot I mentioned before, Shang-Yu does not have any star absorption buffs to capitalize on his fairly good star gen and crit bonuses. So, and his crit bonuses are 1 turn only most of the time, so he's not as efficient as Adelante Alter or Zerxalot in that aspect. He can hit like a truck, but you need to make a shitload of stars to have him actually use stars, because he has no ability to do that on his own. He will make a lot of stars, though, but yeah, like I said, he doesn't use them himself. So it's kind of, like I said, an awkward place. If you don't have any of those servants I just named, though, he's gonna be real good. He blows up hands great. Like, if you want to use him for just, like, casual tier farming, that's fine. Just like I said, if you already have, like, a Lancelot Berserker, you probably don't need to go all in on Shang-Yu unless you like the fact that he's got a super metal Dark Souls design. Prince of Lan Ling, which is way easier to say than his other name, which involves multiple CHs. He's a 4-star saber with an arts support NP. Get a load of that. Standard saber kit, quick, arts, buster, moderate hit counts. Middling attack compensates with very good HP. His NP generation is slightly above average on his 2 arts cards, though. First skill is Beauty Concealing Mask, which is kind of a charisma variant. It's also a bit like Mary's Princess of Loveliness skill. It gives him 2 hits of invincible for 3 turns, and also gives the team a 20% attack buff. By the way, this guy gives your team buffs, in case you were wondering. As if Shredding Bamboo is a targetable version of Oz's Team Charger, it gives the target ally up to 20% NP and up to 40% buff rate. So, great that mechanic is expanded to more servants. His is targetable. And then lastly, Demonic Handsome Face, which is my best transliteration of the name, gives the team a 20% arts buff for 3 turns and has a 60% chance to drop a 50% star gen and crit plus buff on the team. So if you use his skill number 2 on somebody, that's a 100% chance for them. Which is great. That's a lot of star and crit buffs. And then his Noble Phantasm of Weaponized EK-Men slams the enemy team with -1 charge, for sure. 30% crit chance down. And gives you, your team, 3 turns of damage cut, which scales with NP level up to 1500 at NP5 on a 4-star. Yes, that's right. That's minus 1500 damage on all attacks for 3 turns at NP5. And also gives the team an attack plus for 3 turns, which scales with overcharge. It's a phenomenal art stall NP. If you like arts tanking, this is your boy. Passives are magic resistance C and writing A. But basically, yeah, no. Landling, Prince of Landling tanks the fuck out of stuff. Like, he's got a couple hits of Invincible in there. He's got great chances to lower your enemy's crits. He does for sure do a charge down. And that damage cut is phenomenal. It's really great. And then I can't even bother trying to say how her name is actually pronounced in Chinese. Like we said, the QI sound is like Qin, but we have no idea, so transliterating it is like Liang Yu. 4-star Lancer. Typical Lancer deck. QQAAB. Pretty typical stuff. She retains a huge HP pool while having a slight edge on attack on a lot of the more tanky Lancers. Like, she's got slightly higher attack than Parvati and somebody else I can't think of. She's better than Valkyrie in terms of attack, stuff like that. But the stat spread doesn't really help her kit, as you'll see in a second. Her arts cards are a bit sluggish on her own, but because she's only got like 2 hits, but she's got 4-hit quick cards that can capitalize on her relatively high NP gain stat, and also she generates stars good. What you want out of a Lancer. First skill is White Pole Spear B, which gives her 20% arts and quick and 30% crit damage up for 3 turns, which basically just makes her entire build better for 3 out of 5 turns at max level. Her second skill is Loyal Soldier's Fellowship B, which gives her a big star vac for 1 turn, up to like 600% star absorption, which is pretty good because Lancers have middling star absorb. It gives her 3-time immunity to both debuffs and buff removal for 3 turns. This is also a 5 cooldown skill, so this is phenomenal because she really does not want to be debuffed and does not want her buffs removed. And her second skill is just like, no, fuck you, no, no. And then her third skill, Bandit Hunter, has a tiny self-NP charge up to 20%, nobody cares. But it allows 2 times 1 HP guts. So it's like Nero's Setting Sun, but only twice. And then her Arts NP, 4 Poems of Emperor Chongzhen, is just a clusterfuck of buffs. I'm gonna give it a sub-bullet. Yes, I literally indented my bulleted list here. So, okay, I'm gonna run this down for you, Lucky.
I'm listening.
So, she gets 50% attack up for 3 turns, just by default.
Okay.
And then, she gets a buff that when she hits an enemy, she gives them 10% defense down for up to 3 of her hits for 3 turns. If she lands a crit, she removes all buffs on that enemy, up to 3 times again. And that's just what she does on attack. Now, if she is hit, she lowers enemy crit damage by 10% for 3 turns, which can also happen thrice. And then, if she is hit with a crit, she heals the entire team a large chunk of HP up to 3 times based on overcharge. This starts at a 2k team heal and goes up to a 4k team heal. But this does not proc if the blow would have killed her, so Guts doesn't help. And all of the shit is stackable and can linger for up to 5 turns.
Is this the first case of a servant having an effect when they are hit?
Maybe. I know the 3-star Lancer Hozoin has some on hit buffs. But yeah, no, this is just crazy self buffs.
Wow.
The end result is that you have an attack monster who buffs herself up and resists buff and debuff removal. She is a great solo candidate because she has guts and a self-heal. She's self-sufficient on her damage, and her utility spread for content is great because she can be immune to debuffs, she can be immune to buff removal, and she can remove buffs. All three on the same character. It's nuts. Her two major weaknesses, if I had to point them out, are both damage-related. So, without her buffs and no support passives, she's a little anemic in damage, so until you start popping her skills, or when her skills are down, she's going to hit a little softly. And then with a support-only NP, you need to get her buffs rolling to make her big damage. Well, I should say, I'll rephrase this because I'm not saying it how I wrote it. With a support-only NP, you really need to get her buffs rolling to actually deal damage with her, because, like I said, her attack is kind of low. It's a little bit better than some tanks, but it's still a little low. And that means that's a lot of investment in her skills, right? This is a 4-star character. You need to probably buff up, to use her to her full effectiveness, you need to buff up her first 2 skills to, like, 10, so you can get their minimum cooldowns. And she's not as cheap as, like, a Ku or a Hozoin, right? So,
no.
She is worth the investment, but boy howdy, it will be an investment to maximize her, because, like we said, she can't do big damage on her own. She has to be throwing her skills and dropping her NP, and then doing cards after that. Still, a great design. Also, a great design visually speaking. I think this is the first...
I've heard many things about her thighs.
Yeah. She's got that, like, Chun-Li style hair with the ox horns.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, she was drawn by artist Shima Drill, who you may remember from such works as Ku Alter and Saber Lancelot and Caesar. First female I think he's drawn for FGO. Yes.
Nice.
So yeah, that's our new servants.
Hey, Mega, you want me to start talking about the pregame, the Babylonia pregame?
All right. I mean, if you wanna take a shot at this, because
hey, I can do this. I can do this.
Right. Go for it. I
I
wrote this like literally hours ago.
Yeah, you rest on vocal cords. All right. So here we go. Babylonia pregame, or something which resembles that at least. So Babylonia is a story with 22 chapters. You can most frequently expect support from Merlin, Medusa Lily, Castergil, and Ishtar, with some Quetzalcoatl and Jaguar Man sprinkling there towards the end. With another few in small amounts, like a few battles with like a level 100 Enkidu.
And his first 2 skills are level 10. It's great. They're actually giving you units you can use.
Oh my god. The chapters themselves are going to cost about 22 to 23 AP a pop, though some are quite long, others have arrows with no battle. Also a fuck ton of BP. Use that lunchtime.
Let me actually look up what the bond points for some of these are real quick. You can probably do the next bullet point while I'm looking this up.
Alright, so the end result of the chapter is going to give you net you 19 Saint Quartz, 2 Grails, yes, you heard that right, an Ascension and Bond Up for MASH, and a free copy of the 3-star Lancer Jaguar Man. Also, Quetz, Gorgon, and Jaguar Man we put in the story summon.
Yeah, so I'm looking at it now. You're looking at, with your lunch times or your like heroic portraits, you're looking at over 1,500 bond points per node.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I don't know, sometimes, like, that seems like a lot, but at the same time, like, I know, like, to get, like, my waiver from, like, 9 to 10, it was, like, over, like, 80,000. Like, getting anyone up to, like, your, like, everyone up to Bond 5 would probably be pretty easy, but after that, you still might be, I don't know.
Still, you're gonna do some damage there.
Yeah. By the way, do you like new Bobs? I hope you do, because we have a bunch. We have the Rider Top, Uridemu. I don't know if I pronounced that right, but whatever.
I don't know how these are pronounced either.
The Lancer, Mushisu, who drops the new Stinger of Certain Death. The Ushmagal upgraded Soul Eater and Bosmu upgraded Dragon. Rider type Ugalu, who drops the Primordial Lanugo. The Freakish Lahamu. I shouldn't have like taken this on if I knew I was going to be trying to say all these goddamn words.
Yeah, you should have read the notes first.
I should have. The Freakish Lahamu, who has a couple of classes and can remove your buffs with a skill, and their big sibling Belamu, which drop Void Dust. Also, expect lots of normal Wyverns, Return of Demon Boars, who now drop Curse Beast Colcyst, normal soldiers and ghosts, huge ghost soldiers and skellies, golems and were-jaguars, mini spriggans, some gazers, and sphinx, sea devil variants, etc. Now, let's talk boss gimmicks.
Well, first, mobs. There's a lot of them. You're going to fight a lot of boss nodes. There's, like, one fight where I think, because he's your ally, Gilgamesh makes you fight, like, 3 Spriggans in a row. So, just, it's going to suck. A lot of these guys are dragons, though. So, bring your Sumanai.
I should really love my Sumanai. Okay, so, let's talk boss gimmicks. In addition to the usual, having to fight people who are sometimes their allies, repeatedly, and boss versions of mooks, see above, Babylonia has a couple big fights that you're going to want to prep for. In general, expect all boss HP will be in the hundreds of thousands minimum, 500k plus in the later chapters. Spoilers, by the way. The first couple fights with big HP Enkidu, one including 2 million hit points, and either after 7 turns or his HP is depleted, so don't freak out too much. Just bring a stall team, you'll be alright. Next, there are a couple Avenger Gorgon boss fights with her HP in the millions! Luckily, the first ends after 6 to 10 turns automatically, and the second ends after 15 turns, or you can deplete 50% of her 2 million HP. Now there's a couple of infamous Quetzalcoatl fights. She'll take 0 damage from good servants and only half damage from evil and neutral. The only ones who will be able to do full damage at this time are Lancelot Berserker, Nero Bride, Hercules, and Tama Lancer. The second time she appears, there is unskippable dialogue. Pick the bottom option to give her a defense buff, not also an attack buff.
Yeah, to rephrase that, basically, if you pick the top answer, she gets both an attack and defense buff in the next fight. If you pick the bottom answer, she just gets a defense buff.
The first fight ends automatically after she uses her Noble Phantasm. The second 2 do not.
Yeah.
Now, there are some fun boss fights with Ushi, who has the power to Noble Phantasm every turn. And one of them, there are many copies. Bring your best survival buffs, and big AoE. The new Beast class enemy who takes neutral damage from everyone, unless you got Angra to Bond 10. Your first fight with Femme Fatale is pretty basic. She will only debuff, not attack, and has no Noble Phantasm. There's a series of nodes which add a damage over time field effect, and some have the Earthquake effect, where your team order is randomly jumbled at the beginning of the battle.
Yes.
But the game flips it around for the last big series of fights. You'll get a big pile of buffs, which gives you big heals and big buffs. This concludes with a big kaiju battle with a 600k to 700k hit points boss who can hit your whole team, drop some debuffs, Noble Phantasm Seal, and other fun stuff.
Yeah, they looking at the way the extra effects are in these last few battles, they're really trying to make this shit dramatic, and I hope it works.
It sounds dramatic.
By the way, I am not spoiling what these buffs are called, though.
Oh.
Yeah, no.
I'm glad. As I said,
yeah.
Lucky, kind of knows, Lucky...
Yeah, I've
Lucky
censored
has,
some of the names of some of the bosses and stuff in the context because I want some people to have fresh opinions, but at the same time, I want to let some of these people know, hey, there are some big fucking bosses coming.
Yeah. Prepare for, Primo Lucky reactions next week.
Oh, yeah. No.
But aside from that, there's also going to be 14 free quests for more Saint Courts. And what a lot of people are excited about is the first summon banner, which should have the 5-star Enkidu, the 4-star Caster Gil, 4-star Medusa Lily, and also some new CE, such as Demonic Bata Vista, super useful. I don't know if I pronounced it right, but whatever. Room Guarder, and Miracle Investigator.
So Demonic Bodhisattva is the Kiara CE, which is important because for one copy it gives you 50% NP to start and increases your overcharge by 2 levels twice. Yeah, or one time. 2 levels once. So if you want to use Hide, that basically makes him. It's also great on a Rash because it gives you starting NP and also it gives you a big overcharge buff, which for a Rash, more overcharge is more damage. And these are all permanent. Roomgarter is just cool because it's got, I forget her name off the top of my head. Is it Jinako?
Karna's monster from a...
It's Karna's
I think
Master.
it's Jinako, I think so.
Yeah. Karna's Master from CCC. And it's got some fun effects, but it's just cool because it has her on it.
Yes.
Alright. Yeah, you did that okay. Like, I wouldn't have done any better pronouncing some of this shit. I was writing this down, and I was like, God damn it. Like, as I'm writing down these mob names. Ridimu. Mushushu. Like, fuck. God damn you. Also, yes, in case it wasn't clear, there are going to be 3 new Ascension mats with this. There's going to be the Stingers, there's going to be the Primordial Lanugo, which is... Hopefully they make that a more clear name in English, because it's like Red Hairs, but they call it a weird name. And then the Colocysts.
Colocysts.
Or... I'm assuming it's Col, because it's probably a Greek thing. Colocyst. I don't know. Cursed Beast Rocks. So yeah, that'll be important to look out for those in future.
Okay.
Yeah, we powered through all that. We're at about an hour 15.
Oh, that's not bad. Good job, us. Let's see here.
Well, we should say that because tomorrow's the 1st. We'll be starting a new Teach Me Omega Sensei poll because it'll be a new month for our patrons. I think I'm going to just leave a 50-50 choice between Mystic Codes and the Mages Association. And then after New Year's, and more importantly, after the last couple Part 1 story chapters come out, we might be able to, throw some other expository questions into that mix, which will actually be relevant and not be spoilers.
Nice.
So hopefully for January, we'll be able to come up with some new ones. But if you have any suggestions for Teach Me Omega Sensei that are related to FGO and or Fate, I understand some people may be interested in vampires now for reasons, but that's still mostly a Tsukihime thing that I really don't want to get into because holy shit, Nasu. Yeah, anyway. So we'll leave that open. Do you want to just jump into final thoughts?
Final thoughts? Well, so I got a couple, I just didn't write one down. So my first one is actually about our Discord community, which I got on a big Christmas/holiday kick. Basically, I went in because I was working on the last week's Let's Talk FGO, and Omega had put Padaru in the beginning. I'm like, I have to do something with this. So I started looking around for, GIFs and images and stuff. I was posting them in the Discord, and guess what? I think it's time to change my name to something more Christmassy with avatars and everything. And I did that, and then everyone else started doing it. It's not
you started the trend. Now, I want to say 80 to 90% of the active Discord members are fully Padoru.
Yes. Most people have some sort of Christmassy or wintry thing in their name and their avatar, and it makes me super happy. I literally go into our Let's Talk FGO thing, and there's nothing but Padaru avatars or Rio avatars with Christmas things. I changed mine to personally to a Padaru Tamamo, and I am now Lucky Beast of Christmas Cheer, which I think is amazing.
Yeah, I'm currently Alpha and Omega. That's my holiday reference. I did not Padoru, but I took the Rio art for Ishtar because I thought it was on point, and that's my holiday. Which is great, by the way. The framing on the Discord avatars perfectly makes it so you can see Ishtar in the center, and just above her you can see Ereshkigal hanging out because that's actually in the art. There's just a tiny Ereshkigal in the background.
But also talking about the Christmas spirits, apparently there were some people who because I sung a little bit for the last episode, and some people were very happy with that, and there was this discussion of maybe doing full-on Fate Christmas carols.
Yeah. Well, Yeah, you were trying to pitch some extra lines as the intro for this episode, but we couldn't get it to work in time. We were workshopping it for a little, and you're like, we'll just say you'll need themed Christmas carols. So then the question was, do we write a full-blown parody, 12 Days of Chaldea? And then, of course, Lucky has to sing it because that's how this works.
Yeah. If you all in the comments want to give your own suggestions for the 12 Days of Chaldea, like, I will, and if I actually get a full 12 days that I like, keyword, like, I'll sing it.
And that'll probably be something where you can get, like, a downloadable version on our Patreon, but also we'll have a video version with some lyrics. I start writing checks, editor Lucky has to cash.
Oh my god.
That's okay, I usually write checks I have to cash, which is the great part of this dynamic.
Well,
like when I committed to the fact that I need to make, I think, 4 wanteds in the next month, so probably like 1 a week.
Oh yeah, see, that's the thing. I'm saying this thing, so I actually have to cash these checks. I can't just be like, I didn't say I do it, so I don't have to.
Right. We want to hold ourselves accountable.
Yeah. But also a reminder, we're about to start a new month. That means the Mana Prism shop's about to refresh. Actually, I think it refreshes in 10 minutes here?
Yeah. As of the time we're recording this, it'll refresh soon because it refreshes at 8 p.m. Eastern on or 7 because it's daylight savings time on the day before.
So, also, because of the new month, also, there's going to be a new episode of Today's Menu with Emiya Family. This was the last planned. We don't know if they're actually continuing it. I know there's more material. Because this is actually based off... Today's Menu with Emiya Family is actually based off a manga, and trust me, they have a lot more. So, who knows? Hopefully it's been popular enough for them for UFO Table to...
It's huge. Everybody loves it.
Yeah, I know. Yes, but make sure you check that out. If you haven't seen last month's, go check it out, because you'll get plenty of beautiful boys, Lancer and Archer. Let's see here. What else am I thinking about? Do you have any final thoughts when I think?
The usual thing I would do at this point is because we are about to roll over to a month, I would remind everybody, hey, we're going to roll over to a month. That's a Patreon thing. If you want to get in for, obviously, our monthly topics or whatever, that's going to be coming up, so make sure if you want to support us at the $5 level. Honestly, since we added the instant pay option, which has really helped us out, because it's just, like, people don't feel like they're leeching, and we don't get screwed over if people, like, jump in and then immediately, like, jump back out. So it doesn't really matter if you sign up at the first of a month or not, because it'll charge you the first time and then charge you in following months. But if you are interested in, jumping into our Patreon, the start of a month is as good a time as any, so you can always make sure you get your stuff. But we do make sure to do backlogs, so all of our audio downloads and stuff will be available whenever. I make sure to try and tag everything so you can find it. And yeah, that's like my usual ending bit as we're ending a show in the month. Next time, I can say, while you're still thinking, is for sure, because Babylonia will have been out a couple days, or like a day and a half or something. We will be talking about this. Like we said at the start of the show, we're actually recording this on a Friday, so hopefully that helps us get stuff out sooner-ish.
Oh, that's what I was going to mention, yeah.
Yeah. We're recording this a day earlier. It does mean that our notes were a little rushed, but hopefully we didn't forget anything important. Hey, if you know stuff that's not spoilery that you want to leave in the comments. If we missed anything, go ahead and let us know. But yeah, next show will be whatever our Babylonia first impressions are. They may or may... Let me look at the campaigns on JP. So S.I.N release ends in 6 days. The actual starting of the campaign. So, yeah, I guess that means that they will probably start a second banner by then, maybe, or they might announce that the Christmas event. So look out for new JP content, obviously. And yeah, we'll talk about obviously Babylonia then, and our final thoughts on Christmas, because obviously we'll be done and we can talk about the whole thing. And also, we will As soon as they announce when the final chapter of Time Temple Solomon comes out, we will be sure to brief you on that, because that'll be a whole thing.
Oh boy.
That said, when they do announce it, they should do a special event where people who complete Babylonia before Solomon is released get extra quartz, so that'll be cool. And yeah, I think that's the show. Lucky, you got anything else you want to say that you thought of?
Nope. Omega, do the outro.
Okay, I'm gonna do the thing. Hey, everybody, if you like this episode, give it a like. That just generally keeps us motivated, keeps us circulating. It's great for us.
Yeah!
If you have any comments, as we've said, leave them in the comment section down below. We always make sure to try and read all the comments. If we have time, we reply to them sometimes.
I usually reply with sass.
Yeah, if you're ever wondering who's talking to you, I am calm and friendly, and I also usually favorite comments. Lucky is usually caps and shouting. So you can also join our Discord, like we said. You can jump in. Like, after the stream, I fucked around in voice chat with everybody for, like, an hour or two. Just talking about stuff. That link is in our description, like I said. And, of course, if you are new here and have not already, please subscribe. That is the best way to keep track of our videos. Even if you've already subscribed, don't forget to hit the bell for notifications so you always know when we post videos. I can understand, like, maybe if people have a lot of subs, they're concerned about making new ones to, like, overload, but... Like, really, it's the best way to make sure you're getting our content when it comes out, is to know exactly when it posts, get your notifications, all that stuff on. And, of course, you can also get stuff early by supporting us on Patreon. As little as $1 a month gets you all of our audio shows, which you can download and listen to at your own expense offline while you're busy. You know, save that mobile data. And, they're out immediately. Like, literally, I'm gonna close this audio, I'm gonna edit this audio, I'm gonna make a thumbnail, and I'm gonna upload it to Patreon, and it'll be up for... the low price of, like, $0.25 a show. Even less, technically, because you can also get What's Up. And yeah, that's the show, everybody. Like we said, we'll see you next week for more Christmas and Middle Eastern hijinks. Don't ask me why those are thematically connected. That'll be even worse next year. Christmas in the underworld.
On the first day of Christmas, Chaldea gave to me something.
Also, hey, just throwing in this little post-show note. I keep forgetting to say this, but there's a really kind of fun Twitter called Fake Grand Booze. It's at Fake Grand Booze. It's an archive of cocktails inspired by Fake Grand Order. Check it out sometime. It's got some funny ones in there, and like they're all thematic and stuff. And we just keep forgetting to talk about it. Maybe I'll remember now that I made a post-show note. Anyway, bye, everybody.